Hello, 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 guys. Welcome to Story Time with Shari. Guys, you are watching the very, very special birthday edition. Ollie has a secret to tell you. It's my birthday. And the crowd goes wild. Thank you for tuning in today. I'm so grateful to be here. I'm so grateful to be alive. If this is your first time watching, my name is Shari Alyse. I am a author. I'm an author of the best-selling book Love Yourself Happy: A Journey Back to You. I'm also a global speaker and I'm a self-love coach, but most importantly, I'm a birthday girl. I've always been one of these people that gets super excited about my birthday. Everyone, like when I was growing up, everyone's like, "Yeah, Shari, we know it's your birthday." I would be like, "Oh, it's my birthday month." And then I'd be like, 27 days to my birthday, 26 days. This year with the quarantine and that kind of stuff, it hasn't felt so celebratory leading up to this, but then this morning I woke up and I said, "Dang, girl, you're alive. You're alive and well, and I am going to celebrate my 46 year." Hello, Samantha. Aw, thank you. Hey, Jill, thank you so much. John, my fiance, he took the day off so we could celebrate today. And so I was like, "Do I do story time?" And then I was like, "Of course you do story time. Come and get some birthday love." And I'm not even going to be shy about it. My mission every single day is to love others and serve others and take care of others and guide and help. And this one day out of the year, I say, I'm going to be a queen. So, oh, Chrissy, thank you. She's hip hip hooray. Thank you, Pravesh. Thank you, guys. Okay, so what we're going to do today is you're going to grab your favorite cup of something, anything you want. It is my birthday, so we are drinking some rosé champagne, a little sparkly, sparkly. So grab whatever it is, doesn't matter what time it is. I don't judge. Ollie the owl does not judge. He judges me, but he won't judge you. I've given him lots of talks about it. And cheers to, although I'm celebrating myself today, as you guys know, I would not be me without me if I wasn't here to share some sort of gift for you. So, bottoms up first. And I just want to let you guys know, as a birthday present from me to you, which is also a birthday present to me when anybody will read my book, the first 5 of you that share this birthday story time edition, and then you come into the comments and you put shared, I will send you a free digital copy of my book, Love Yourself Happy. If you already have it, you could share that code with somebody else. Hello, Erica. Thank you so much. I love Chrissy. Thank you for joining me from your hospital bed for the birthday. So today we are going to continue reading from Heart Minded. We're only going to read a little bit because I got too much energy, too much excitement, too much love to share, and that love is gonna. I'm going to share some of the things that I am promising myself this coming year as my next trip around the sun. But it's not just about me, even though in my head it is, but it really is about inspiring you to live your life to the fullest. So we will definitely read. Hey, Betty, thank you so much. Thank you, Samantha. Oh, Aviette shared. You guys are amazing. First, let me know in the comments, how are you doing? How are you feeling? I know there's a lot going on. I know that, you know, the pulse of the world can feel so heavy right now. And one of the things that I have chosen to do as my day has arrived is that I am going to stay in the awareness of the pulse, but I'm also going to remember who I am and what I bring to the table. And that is joy, and that is light, and that is compassion, and that is love. So that is what I'm going to give more of into the world, because the world needs more of us. All right. Aviette says happy birthday. Hey, Sonia. Nice to see you guys. Oh, in case John got this for me last year and he totally forgot to give it to me on my birthday. And so I said, why don't you just return it? And so right now, while I was just getting ready, I said, oh, it's too bad I don't have like a birthday tiara or a ribbon. And then he pulled it out and he said, I never returned it. So yay! I get it. The angry faces is probably John, Chrissy. So don't worry. Guys, guess what time it is? It's super smart girl. Whoa, who is that? I don't know, but she sure looks smart. Hey, why don't you put on your glasses? No, nobody can look as smart as super smart girl. Da da da. I've already lost viewers. They're like, who is this nut job? It's the birthday girl nut job. So let's read a little bit from. Do you guys even want me to read? No, I think there's only like 2 pages left in this chapter. Thank you, Sonia. Um, yeah, most likely it is. So I'm going to read the last couple of pages from here. And then after we read from today's book, Heart Minded by Sarah Blondin, I'm going to share some inspiration for this past year and what this new year is. And by new year, I mean my new cyclical birthday year is going to bring, and the promises that I'm going to create and make, and hoping that it inspires you to create a vision, whether it's your birthday or not. It doesn't matter. So I hope that you will stick around after this, after the book. So I could take your questions. You could say whatever you want. I'll answer whatever you want. And I'm going to share with you the 5 things that I'm going to do more of this year. And maybe you'll join me on this challenge. Yes, Betty, more love, more love. Thanks, Sonia. It's the birthday. I think it brings a little extra pep in my step. This morning I sang to myself along my hike. Thankfully nobody's out there, but I sang myself happy birthday. I watched the sunrise. I cried a little bit. It's been a challenging year for all of us. Last June, I had my arm surgery. I don't know, for those of you who know or don't know, I've lost like a shit ton of weight. And so it was just the one part of my body that felt like it was part of the old me. So I had an arm lift back in June of last year, and it's been a really challenging recovery. I actually still have nerve damage. And then on top with the pandemic and all this exposing of racism, and then also leaving my 6-year startup company that in the height of it growing, but choosing my own passion. So there's been a lot of change this past year, which has been really challenging. But I'll talk about that and some of the things that I've learned. And I hope that it will inspire you to dig deeper into your soul and to know who you are. All right, let's go to this. So we're on chapter 3, which is called Waking to Grace. And so I'm just going to read the end of the chapter, and then we're going to talk about birthday stuff. Bottoms up, guys. And if you're just joining me right now, if you hit share on this and you let me know that you've shared it, 5 people are going to get a free copy of my book, Love Yourself Happy. All right. So there are various ways you can recognize the space that yawns between, I could tell I'm already going to get emotional. I get emotional. I can't even dig into the book. I have so much. Okay, that's coffee. It's not really champagne, but I have so much coffee running through me. And anytime that we have the opportunity to connect to our truth, to connect to our wholeness, so you can connect to your magnificence and your spirit, your soul, why you are here, when we slow down and we get still within, we remember who we really are. And in that remembrance, everything we realize is okay. And so when I start to read these words, it just reminds me that we are so much bigger than our challenges, that we are so much greater than our obstacles and our circumstances and the stories that we tell ourselves. And so anyway, thanks, guys. Oh, I love you all too. You know, I'm never even going to get to this book. But this year for my birthday, usually I do something big, but here in Los Angeles, we're in shutdown mode, really. And I don't feel safe. John and I don't. We're not living in fear, but we're just being extra careful that there's certain things we can't do. And, my friends and family are around the country. And so it's just him and I, which is a beautiful thing. But it had felt leading up to it a little lonely. So just being here with you guys, just being here with you guys and feeling your love right now is already making this day extra special. So thank you. All right, let's read. There are various ways you can recognize the space that yawns between our source and us. It comes in many forms, feelings, and emotions, subtle frequencies felt throughout our hearts and bodies. Inertia, fear, doubt, worry, self-hate, anxiety, panic, listlessness, despair, and hopelessness. Essentially anything that causes a constricted feeling anywhere within you and your field of perception are manifestations of the separation between us and our source. These feelings signal that we have lost alignment with our true nature. They're indications that the self we operate from moment to moment has grown distant from the heart. Most of us are feeling at least one of these emotions most of the time, There are a few moments in our day when we feel from these conditions of separation. But when we're young, we really didn't know any better. With no one to instruct or encourage us to trust the mystery that is life, we took this huge and overwhelming world both around and within us and made it small, compact, and manageable. We did whatever we could do to feel safe. Without us realizing it, the very structure we built to make ourselves feel safe prevented us from feeling safe and open in our daily lives. Ironic, isn't it? The things we do to make ourselves feel secure and in control are often the very things that make us feel somehow threatened and at risk. We took the natural fluidity and effervescence of the life force and we put a clamp on it, closing ourselves off from the fullness and infinite potential of life itself. Because we were not taught to tap into our own source of grace and peace, most of us end up waiting in this uncomfortably contracted state for something to break us back open to the truth. The grace of life has always finds a way to lead us to the truth, often bringing us back to our hearts and our bodies through an accident or mental or emotional breakdown. And I know how harsh that seems, that grace disguises itself in accidents or disaster. And yet sometimes it will. Not to cause you harm, but to help bring your being back into alignment with the truth of who you really are, with your immense life force. It comes to help you to break free from your cage. You'll often hear people speak about dark moments in their lives as portals that, while not purposely chosen, ended up opening them to the divine source within them. They'll often speak of how these uncomfortable times were what led them to discovering higher levels of trust and love for life. One of my reasons for writing this book was to offer you that opportunity to discover this trust and love without all of the extra suffering. We don't need to wait for illness or the rupture of a relationship or some other deep blow. We can choose to move back into grace at any time. We can awaken grace now and discover within our body a temple of respite. We can choose to meet our bodies and our hearts with soft attention, thereby opening the gate and discovering the gentle embrace of the universe. I received one of the most beautiful examples of grace in a letter from one of my listeners. She lives in a really small town of 2,000 people, and she told me that recently the community had been devastated by many suicides, premature deaths, and serious life-threatening illnesses. Both she and one of her dear friends had lost 5 people in the last year, and collectively the community had recently seen at least 20 deaths. After being called on by spirit to feed all that is holy and alive, these 2 women had created a community dance company. In an effort to help metabolize the pain many were going through after the deaths, the women poured their hearts into the creative process of writing a dance offering of grief. They felt a deep need to make something beautiful from the pain and the loss. 11 women banded together and performed a dance offering for the spirits who had passed on and for the community. They wove together with music and movement a piece I wrote called Accepting Change and created an evening of healing. We danced, we cried together, we held each other, and our community collectively exhaled and inhaled. We poured sweet honey into the cracks of the cavern of despair, she wrote. She expressed that it was love that guided them into the darkness and love that gave them strength to hold the despair and heartbreak of those suffering the most. Because of their deep listening, they were guided by grace, by love, and by the universal heart into the place of profound healing. They endured what no one should endure, but came out on the other side more tender and more available to love and to being broken open. They were carved open by the light of grace. This mystery we're living is leading us to our hearts. We're meant to embody our softness, to live without barricades around tenderness. If you've been reading along thus far, I trust you have already begun unclenching. Okay, let me start that sentence again. If you've been reading along thus far, I trust you have already begun unclenching and opening to your divine life. You're tired of living under the weight of your restricted spirit And something profoundly loving is trying to show you the way out by way of the heart. You can help this process along by learning to soften the body, by carving out space to feel into your physicality. You can wake up your feeling body and touch that omnipresent peace that holds us. Hey, y'all. Thank you. Okay, I can't see all these. Thank you, Marta. She said, happy birthday to me. Hope you're well. All right, guys. So that was from Heart Minded, How to Hold Yourself and Others in Love. And, I've been talking a lot about this feeling of grace and the way that she describes and explains that and the ways that we're so often, I don't know about you, but the most growth that comes from me is when I've fallen to my knees. The most growth that has come from me, and probably you, have been in really challenging times, have been in times where our souls feel like they've been blown open, where our defenses come down because, some shit has rocked our world, something has pushed you up against a wall, and there's nothing left for you to clench onto. So when this stuff happens to us, we seem to just open our hands and let go. And when you and I let go, when we let go of everything that we're holding on to, all the control we're trying to have in our lives to keep us that safe and protected, but when we open up, we allow life to flow through us. When we open up, you and I allow ourselves to express ourselves as the beauty and the joy and the wholeness and the compassion and the light and the love and the oneness and all of who we are. I just spit on my computer. Luckily, hopefully you guys are wearing masks. But so I just want to say that when we trust in what is and we allow ourselves to open and to return back to the most beautiful part of life, which is allowing life itself to express itself through you, not as someone else, but fully as you, not showing up the way you think someone wants you to show up, not showing or doing what you think others need you to do, or acting in a certain way, or dimming your lights, stepping aside, hiding, but literally stepping forth and being, this is who I am, and living life to its fullest expression through you. That is living. And that is what this year my biggity birthday is going to be about, because I am a self-love coach. So what does that mean? That means that I have learned how to allow myself to be my greatest version of myself, that I am more compassionate with myself, that I am more loving with myself, that when I go through challenges, that I gift myself with the compassion and with navigating it, with being kind to myself. So there's all these aspects of self-love. But I'm also a human being. And I will tell everybody till the day I draw my last breath, which is this: it doesn't matter how far you've come in your life, how enlightened you've become, how, woke, as people say, that you've become. Your challenges don't stop. Like, life doesn't stop, but you learn how to move through and walk through those challenges. So one of my greatest ones is this idea of always having to do, right? Always having to push and thinking that life and things need to show up in this way that I can control, and put a nice little red ribbon around it, because when you present me life like this is what life's supposed to be like. Everything's going to be calm. I'm never going to be hurt again, right? Chrissy says, oh, oxygen mask. Oh, so one of my things that I this year have promised myself that I'm going to do, and I hope that maybe you will take me up on one of these, even though it's a gift to myself, I think that we all could use it. This morning when I looked at myself in the mirror and I wished myself a happy birthday, I looked deep in my eyes, which is a practice that you should do every day. I really encourage you to look really in your eyes and say hello to yourself, greet yourself. How often do you just walk by the mirror, or even if you're getting ready, you don't really look at who you are? But in that moment, I just winked at myself. I say, good morning. And I just winked at myself. And I thought, you know what? I'm going to spend more time this next year winking at myself. When I walk by a mirror, I'm going to offer myself the gift of that kind of love. And so that's 5 things I'm going to do this year more. I'm going to wink at myself. I'm also going to thank my body parts more. We take for granted the fact that, you get out of bed in the morning and your arms are moving, or you step off the bed to go to the bathroom and your feet are literally holding you up. Um, the fact that if you all put your hand on your heart right now, you're literally being kept alive by this right now. Um, my eyes to be able to see, my feet get me where they need to go, right? My feet have allowed me to see across oceans and continents. My feet allow me to walk to someone to give them a hug. Not too much these days, but just paying more attention. Hey, Dorothy, thank you for the birthday wishes. And she's winking too. So thanking my body parts more, because we often don't pay attention to them until there's something wrong with them, right? And maybe that's your body part saying, hey, pay a little attention to me. I'm here. I'm here. The next thing that I'm going to do more of this year is to be more present. How often do you, I know for myself, you just kind of go through your day and you're working, you're getting your kids ready, you're just waiting for the next moment, you're waiting for the next vacation, you're waiting, or, everything is just, what more do you have to do? And so I want to use my senses more. So this morning when I went walking, instead of just seeing or watching the sunrise, I stopped and I felt the cool air on my skin. I listened to the gravel beneath my feet as I walked on there. I smelt the fresh flowers that were nearby. And I just listened to the birds chirping. And I think that you and I mean, I know that that might sound like, oh, woo woo, or idealistic, but I think that if in the moments you stopped and you anchored and you grounded yourself where you are right now, that we actually end up living a bigger and more fulfilled life because we actually are living. And so, oh, Dorothy, I'm glad. I always pray before I come on here that one thing that I said helps somebody, says something, lifts somebody, heals some aspect of you. So I'm glad that this is something that you needed. So be present more. I'm going to do more of that. Whew, this next one's a big one. Surrender. As someone who am a survivor of sexual abuse, as someone who has spent a lifetime trying to maintain a certain level of safety and security and holding things in, tightening my body, not allowing certain emotions to come in because they will overtake me, or holding on to fear or anxiety, holding on to things in my body, because if I let it go, or if in my mind I think I let it go, then I'm going to be out of control. And so what ends up happening is that your body can start to show the effects of some of our emotions, right? And so for me, I always seem to have digestive issues, gastrointestinal. And so I notice the tightness. My stomach wants to hold on to things. It wants to hold on to the emotions. It doesn't want to open up and surrender. But then when I realize that I do surrender, I feel so much better. I feel so much better physically, emotionally, spiritually, mentally. Everything just feels better in that surrender. Now, I've gotten so much better at this. I mean, God, this is a lifelong practice. None of this will ever just one day you'll be like, oh, I am saved. I am perfect. I am. No, this is like, we're like constant work and motion. And that is okay, because that is what living is about. It is about learning. It's about experiencing. It's about diving deep. It's about remembering who we are as humans and spiritual beings, and how we can cross-pollinate the two of those together. How can I live in the spiritual world and live in the human world, right? And so in this surrender that allows me, in the presence, actually, when I talked about the 5 senses, being present and whole helps aid in the surrender, because then I remember that I am of this world. And so that allows me to trust more. So thanks. Happy birthday. Oh, thank you, Chrissy. I am honored to share this day with you. Let me check the time. Okay, we've got a couple minutes. So the fifth thing that I am going to do more of this year is have more gratitude for me. More gratitude for myself, for the ways that I show up. Because through every single challenge that has happened this year, whether it be the physical challenges from my surgery or whether it be the pandemic and how I decided to show up and start this story time with Shari and really dig in, or whether it's now this expression, this opening up and awakening to the racism here in the United States and how I'm standing and speaking up. The fact is that there is a resilience, there is a scrappiness in me that no matter what is happening in the world, I'm going to dig my heels in and I am going to show up for life. And not everybody does that. So what is it that you do? Who are you? How do you show up in the world? What ways can you look at yourself and say, damn, I'm proud of you. I'm honored that you are this person, that you show up this way. So that is what I'm going to do more of this year, is give myself. People think it's conceited. There's nothing conceited about loving yourself. We have to dig in. We have to love who we are. The greatest relationship you're ever going to have, or actually the longest relationship you're ever going to have, is with you. So it's time to tune in, turn in, open up, express love, be grateful for. God created you. God created me. He wants us. They, the universe, whatever your higher source is, greater wisdom, wants you to be the youest you that you can ever be. There is nobody else like you. So I am going to start giving myself more gratitude every day for the ways that I show up. And even in the times that I don't show up as well that I had hoped that I would, I'm going to give myself gratitude just for showing up. Dorothy says, preach it. Thank you, Ivory, for the birthday wishes. So those are the 5 things I'm going to do more of this year. I would love to know one thing, even though this is my birthday. If you want to give me a birthday gift, I want to know one thing starting from this day forward that you are going to gift yourself with more of from the next year. So today is July 27th. Next July 27th, I want to hear about the one thing that you are going to give yourself more of this year. Because if you don't do it, nobody else is going to do it. Yes, forgiveness. Forgiving is everything. None of us were born perfect. We show up the best that we can. We do the best that we can. We love the best that we can. Back in March, I think, or April, I announced that I was writing my second book, Joy Hunting, The Gifts Hidden Behind the Disguise. I've written 2 pages of it. 2 pages of it from like three months ago. Now, I could sit here and be like, Shari, you have a lot of time on your hands and you should have gotten, but I'm like, no, I'm going to gift myself the gift of acceptance of where I'm at. And right now at this moment, where I'm at is where I'm supposed to be. And that book will be written when it's supposed to be written. And that allowance, that acceptance of who we are, that is how we live a joyful life. You guys, you can't have a happy ending to your life if the journey through your life is not happy. Do you know what I mean? So we've got to make each day the most beautiful that we can. And for me, the most beautiful means the most loving. It means open up. It means accept. It means allow. It means gift myself. I can't keep waiting for the waiting game. Well, I'll be happy when this happens. I'll be content when this happens, because what's going to happen is you're going to get to the end of your life still looking for that moment where something happens that's going to make you happy. So what ways can you accept right now? Right now. Love Yourself Happy, available on Amazon. I'm only saying it because Dorothy just said something about it. All right, guys. So there are 2 things that I want to announce. As for those of you who have been here in my other Storytime with Shari's, I am going to be doing that masterclass webinar on August 11th called Creating Your Safe and Loving Inner World. I am going to, I said last week I was going to put up the link, but life happens. So I will put up the link this week. I will put it here in this thread. If you're interested, I know I've asked you this before, to put Inner World in the comments right now, and I will put the link to that webinar. It will only be $19, and I'm going to be able to share with you ways that you can create a safe and loving space within, so that whatever happens out there does not shake or rock your world. And then the other thing is, of course, if you go to my website, sharyalyse.com, you can set up your call with me and we can create customized coaching sessions around what it is that you need. Or I also have a 12-week Love Yourself Happy based off of my book coaching program that I would love to assist and guide you back to your most beautiful self. And before I say goodbye, I want to invite you all to give yourself some love today. So this is my self-hug time. So if you've never been here before, take your dominant hand, whether it's your right hand or your left hand, and you're going to place that under your opposite arm. And then the hand that you have left over, you're going to place on your shoulder. I invite you, if you feel safe to do so, to close your eyes, rest your head on your hand, and just squeeze. I'm giving myself an extra birthday hug today. Squeeze the living love out of yourself. We all need it. These tears right now are tears of happiness because it has been a tough year, but I am so grateful to be here with you guys. I am so grateful to celebrate my life with you. I'm so grateful that in some small way, somewhere along the way, I have helped make you feel better, think better, do better, heal more, whatever that is. My gratitude is immense that I've been given this silly opportunity on Facebook to speak to you through here. Know that I see you. Know that I love you. Know that I believe in you, and know that I know that you can do and be anything that you desire. And if you don't feel that way right now, I invite you to get quiet, to get still, to place your hands on your heart, to listen to the beating underneath it, and to simply say, I love you. I love you. Start with that. And then see and make that a daily practice and then see what unfolds from that. All right, guys, I am going to go celebrate the rest of my birthday, my quarantine birthday, which means we don't have anything to do, but I'm going to go annoy my fiance, John, and go, it's my birthday, it's my birthday, it's my birthday. Thank you all so much for being a part of today with me, for all of the love that you're sharing with me today and every day. I hope that you choose to do more of something that helps build you and lift you. Thank you, Glenn. Thank you, Chrissy. Thank you, Samantha. Thank you, Dorothy. Thank you, Sonia. All of you that are here and expressing and sharing love. I'm so very grateful for you. I hope to see you on Thursday for another story time with Shari. And I hope that you will join me for my webinar on August 11th. And I hope that you'll connect with me if you are looking for personal guidance and coaching. Have a beautiful day, guys. Thank you. I will, Chrissy. All right, bye, guys. Happy birthday. Okay, bye.